welcome to another Herd Tracker broadcast, live from the Masai Mara in Kenya. We just brought to you by Make It Kenya. We've got Stuart there at the back there. He keeps a good eye on us. Thanks, Stuart, for a lovely day. And we just want to say thanks to and beyond, Kitch September for hosting us. And with us, we're very honoured to have two gentlemen that's worked hard in creating more space. With us, we've got Justin Heath and Richard Pye. Justin, thanks for your time. We got stuck in the triangle today with big cats and so forth, so we made you wait. I apologise for that. That's horrible of us. And Richard, thanks for coming over. And luckily we could settle that with the Tusker in true Kenyan fashion. Just quickly, we have the Maasai at the back, probably busy with a function, or maybe chasing some kuria back to the Tanzanian side. But we'll just give them some time, or just speak up.
You can go and film them celebrating.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the main reason for today's broadcast is there's more than just the Masai Mara Reserve and the Masai Mara Triangle. We all know that it's the Mara Reserve and the Triangle itself has been well marketed over the years. And there's big properties, and there are a few cars and so forth in the main reserve and so forth. And also with so much pressure on the environment these days, we're all running out of space worldwide. It's a global thing. And you guys have done some wonderful work in the last how many years creating more space. Justin, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the areas that you're involved in and what we're busy with?
Sure, and I'll start with some background on it. In the last 10 years, a lot of the greater Mara ecosystem has been subdivided from tribally owned land, communally owned land, into individual small freehold title. And starting in about 2007, innovative tourism operators like Jake Greaves Cook looked at could they not lease this land for conservation. And that's been a real success. In the last 7-8 years, we've had about 200,000 acres of land put under these private conservancies bordering the reserve, and that's about 50% of the size of the national reserve, and it's growing. We're only 7 years old. The model's changing.
Okay, wait, just hang on one second. Just name them for me.
All right.
People need names. Where are we? What are we talking about?
To the north of where we are here at Kitch, we've got Mara North Conservancy, Lemek Conservancy, Ochororoa Conservancy, and then where Richard is, Olari Motorogi Conservancy, and then you've got Naibosho Conservancy, and then we're trying to create, as you head east, Siana Conservancy is under formation, and Oldakesi Conservancy is under formation.
Okay. So just to make it really simple, when we talk about a conservancy, we have different names for different things. We have national parks, we have game reserves, and all those things are different from each other. So a national park, just to say, you have no permanent residence in a national park, other than people managing so forth. And then you have a conservancy, and that is more a model that's based on kind of dual land use and having permanent residence within that area.
So a national park is national government-owned land. A national reserve is state government-owned land. And a conservancy is private land. There's multiple models. In northern Kenya, you have communally-owned land under conservation called a conservancy. Some of the big commercial ranches have put land aside for conservation. And in the Mara, we're agglomerating. Like Kipia in the highlands. In the Mara, we're agglomerating land. So I deal with about 1,500 Maasai landlords who have chosen to put their land under conservation. There are, of course, a few who have chosen not to, and that's why you may see some settlement in the conservancies.
So you have Talek Town, and you have all sorts of fairly bigger settlements in between all of this. Okay, but that's great. So the message here is there's more than just the Masai Mara. There's more space. There's more that you can do. and there's a distinct difference in actual product, and to let people know that in these conservancies you can do more. You can drive at night. You can get out of your vehicle. You can get off road.
Fly camping.
And you can fly camp. It's great for kids and so forth. So it's a wider product, you know. And I think it's very important to realize that it's probably a good idea to combine the Mara Reserve or the Mara Triangle with one of the conservancies at least, you know, or just visit you guys. You know, I know there are a lot of property owners in these conservancies that are very successful and very high end and very sought after kind of products. You know, we have partners in Kicheche, in Syrian, and Alex Walker, and I know Jake and Porini camps, they've been influential in this whole process, and so forth. So, and we've sent clients to all of these guys. You know, we've got Mahali Mazuri and Ola Motorogi, you know, and so that's wonderful. So, but at the end, it's a numbers game. You know, it's got to be sustainable. And at the end, we need people, you know, to come visit. You know, there are still bills that needs to get paid, and there's still administration, and there's still kind of conservation. So otherwise, it's something that's just theory, you know. So you've had a great start. And it seems like it's been very successful, and we've had very happy clients and so forth. Especially the guys that love walking. It's sometimes long days in vehicles for guys. If they come for 10 days and sitting in a car for 10 days, it's sometimes a long time. So, Richard, tell us a little bit more. You're in quite a famous of these conservancies and a well-managed one.
Well, I think, you know, we've got very, very small difference between the management styles of the conservancies.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're very lucky in the middle. We've got Nabosho and Mara North on either side, so we have a buffer zone for us.
Yeah.
But where we are in the middle, you know, we've got a lot of woodland, which means we've got a lot of habitat for species. We've got multiple prides of lions as a result. And so, yeah, our plan is to just try and preserve the habitat and try and look after it so that you actually have all the different species and a lot of variety and diversity. Yeah.
I've noticed, especially in conservancies like Nabosho and so forth, you know, there's it seems that there, you know, there are more trees and so forth. So it looks like there are more keystone species, you know, more elephants, more giraffe and things, which is absolutely wonderful, you know. Very few trees in the Mara Reserve and so forth. And that attracts everything else, you know. So you have plenty of lion, plenty of leopard, plenty of cats. You have the migration that move into those conservancies, you know. So it's an all-round product, you know. And then you have the added benefit of what we've just discussed, and walking and night driving and following a pride of lion when they're hunting and things like that.
And low densities of vehicles.
Low density. I really wanted to touch that point now. You know, it can get busy peak season kind of in August in the main reserve itself. You know, and for good reason. It's a wonderful place to be. But you guys control the number of beds per square kilometer and so forth. So it's well managed, and that means you only have X amount of people, and the capacity is really not as dense as other parts.
I think the tourism operators made a decision that they would limit it to one bed to 350 acres.
Okay, they are the exact numbers.
So anywhere from Mara
thanks,
North
Justin.
to Olari Motorogi and Nabosho, you're guaranteed a low impact, low density. They also have game drive rules, so you're allowed 5 vehicles at a sighting. Vehicles must move off after 20 minutes. So there's a lot of thought that has gone into providing a very different experience. And that doesn't mean that the wildlife on the conservancies is any less than in the Triangle. Today in the Triangle you've seen leopard, you've seen cheetah hunting, you've seen lion hunting.
Yeah.
On the conservancies there's no boundary, there's no fence.
Yeah.
The land merges from the Mara Reserve into the conservancies.
That's a very important point, and I just want to reiterate that it's not a separate ecosystem. It's not a separate piece of land. You know, there are no fences in between, you know, the main reserve and the triangle and what's happening north of it. You know.
And right now we're working with a team from Wild Crew at Oxford University, trying to identify how many lions we have, how many cheetah we have. I'll give you some stats that may help. We think in the Greater Mara ecosystem we have the highest density of lion in the world, comparable to Ngorongoro Crater. Mara North has places like Leopard Gorge.
Yeah, that's famous. I mean,
which is
everyone,
famous.
Leopard Gorge, you know, it's really made famous by BBC and those guys, you know. So and that's not actually for guys out there. It's not the main reserve, and it's not the Mara Triangle. That's in Mara North, huh?
That's in Mara North. In Naibosha we had a week a few years ago where we had 18 different cheetah on the conservancy. Olaria Rock has phenomenal leopard and lion and cheetah sightings.
So we really want to reiterate that it's a quality product with a bit more flexibility, and that's absolutely wonderful news. I just want to welcome everyone again at this Herd Tracker broadcast, made possible by Make It Kenya, and we are hosted by And Beyond's Kichwa Tembo. And we've stayed before we came to and Beyond. We were hosted by Governor's Camp Collection, and we want to just really say thanks to all those guys for making this possible. If you have any questions out there, now is the time. I know we are probably discussing things that are not discussed often, but I think it's important to discuss these things. And the point that we want to bring across is if we just zoom out a little bit further, is that Kenya is a wonderful destination. You know, it's diverse. You go from semi-arid land in the north, you know, and Samburu and Buffalo Springs with different species altogether, and then you have the highlands, and you have the second highest mountain in Africa, in Mount Kenya, for the mountaineers out there, and then you come down into the Rift Valley. And then you have, you know, the famous places like the Masai Mara and the conservancies bordering it. You have a beautiful coastline for fishermen and kite surfers and all of that. You've got Nairobi, you've got technology. I mean, this whole thing is made possible by decent internet.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a brand new fleet of aircraft, you know. Kenya Airways, KQ, brings people to Kenya on a daily basis, you know. So there are a lot of things going for Kenya at the moment, you know. I bring my kids here every year.
Yeah.
You know, they're 6 and 3 years old. You know, they are small children, you know, and we're having a wonderful time always. So what's the general feeling in Kenya? You know, things are looking good, huh? Next season, I know my office. We are already trying to secure rooms for next year, and the bookings are coming in, and it's looking really good. And I think we're going to have a problem finding space, you know, and that is wonderful news, you know. So I really want to thank you guys for the efforts, you know. And it's sometimes work that's kind of, you know, the people behind all this work is a little bit neglected and so forth. My dad has been in conservation his whole life, and you know, you're never in the limelight, and it's sometimes a sacrifice, you know, and you need patience, and you guys are involved in a lot of negotiation, and you're bringing a lot of people together, and you communicate, and you're resolving issues, you know, and you're talking, and there's dialogue and things like that, and I have a huge amount of respect for that, and it's a tough job, and it's not for everyone. I just want to say thanks again for your time, and keep up the good work. You know, sometimes you have hard days, and sometimes you spend a day like we have today. We've had Big Cat Sunday, and we'll post on the broadcast earlier that we started off this morning because of Stuart's demand for leopard. You know, poor Jackson that's been guiding us he's been really good, and we spotted our leopard before 7. You know, a beautiful young male that we saw and we spent some time with. And as I wanted to turn back to come and jump in the pool here, you know, Stuart again said that we're not coming back. He's our official photographer, and we bumped into what again, Stuart?
We had the male lion with the young zebra kill under the tree. That was what we did. Stopped to photograph a long line of wildebeest heading south from the Mara Serengeti.
All right. And then I wanted to come back again to meet up with our guests, and we got stuck at some cheetah.
Yes. We spotted a mother with 4 sub-adult cubs, way down in the south of the Mara Triangle, near the border with Tanzania. A wonderful sweeping landscape of savanna and the escarpment. And we spent, I think, just over 4 hours with them in total. And we were patient. Got to be patient when photographing wildlife, and our patience was rewarded when we saw them hunt and bring down a kill of a young Thompson's gazelle, I believe it was. So a fantastic day. Really showed everything that the Masai Mara and the conservancies in the Mara Triangle has to offer here in Kenya, and can only advocate that if you've been before or you're thinking of coming on safari, this is the place to come. If you're interested in wildlife photography, the welcome you'll receive, the people that are here, everything is ready and catered for you to come and have the most wonderful safari experience here in Kenya and the Masai Mara. So please, karibu sana.
Alright guys, so as you can see, Stuart kept us out there the whole day. I'm probably a little bit sunburned because he kept me on the sunny side of the vehicle, which is wonderful. I just want to say again thank you to Make It Kenya for making this broadcast possible, and our hosts and beyond, Kichwa Tembo Tented Camp and Governors Camp Collection. And we're sitting here in Kenya, Masai Mara, having a chat to some very important people. Justin Heath, Richard Pye, thanks for joining us. And we're chatting about more than just the reserves, more than just the Masai Mara itself. We're chatting about the conservancies and the important role thereof. Justin, do you want to just chat on, just tell us a little bit more about the model, you know, and what makes it a success in general?
Now, all the land bordering the reserve is privately held, typically in 100 or 150 acre parcels. And one of the real benefits of the conservancies is that some of the lodges that have invested there, or all the lodges that have invested there, are paying benefits directly to the landowner. So that they're getting a monthly guaranteed income no matter what tourism is doing. And that's why it's really important. If clients get a chance, if they're socially conscious, they come out and stay in some of the world-class properties we have. Somewhere like Naibosho, we've got Asilia, we've got Hemingway's, we've got Kicheche, which is invested in all 3 major conservancies. We've got Great Plains, where Richard is. We've got Saruni, Kelly and Peacock, Serian, Karen Blixen Camp. There's some fantastic camps out there. Absolutely. And you're staying at a place that the income is going directly to the community. You're helping them, you're supporting them in their choice to keep that land open for wildlife.
Okay, so if you come visit these conservancies, your visit is as a direct contribution to the sustainability of the whole model.
Absolutely, it makes it a lot easier for the lodges which have guaranteed the monthly incomes to pay those monthly incomes. We've had a tough 2 years in Kenya, things out of our control like Ebola, but it's bouncing back. 2016 looks like it's going to be a fabulous
year. Yeah, absolutely. I'm struggling to get rooms, you know, so that's I have to actually the moment we're done here, I'll hop onto my computer and block some rooms, you know, because the demand is creeping in, you know. So that's very important. So your visit to the conservancies is directly helping to create more space.
Yeah, and on top of that, you can do things that you can't do in a national park. You can walk. On all the conservancies, you can book horse riding safaris with people like Tristan Vorsboy or Gordy Church at Safaris Unlimited. You can do night game drives. You can go for day-long walks. The children are looked after in activities outside the car.
Great for families.
Great for families.
Yeah. I had a walk with Rulof, I must say, at Naibosho.
And he's excellent.
Yeah, he's actually
very good.
I must say, I don't walk with many people because I prefer to carry the rifle myself. But with Rulof, I'll walk any day. You know, and he loves his walking, you know, and that's the thing. There are people with passion, and there are highly skilled people, and I've personally had a wonderful time in the conservancies, you know.
And the conservancies try, like all the guides, KS, Kenya Professional Safari Guide Association, bronze or silver or gold guides. All the camps are gold eco rated or silver eco rated, and they have to be on the conservancy. So there's a lot more that goes into it.
Quality. There we go. I mean, that's a wonderful model, and the message we want to bring across is your visit to Kenya, you know, really helps protect species. It helps protect land. It creates more space, and it helps for conservation and dual land use models to be sustainable.
Yeah.
And that's the bigger picture out here, you know. And it's not just in Kenya, you know. It goes throughout Africa. This whole model, and we wish you all the success. And again, we want to thank you for your time. And I think we're going to probably support the local brewery again. You know, they also need to make a living.
That's
you know.
right. Yeah.
And Tusker
is excellent.
Excellent beer. Excellent beer, you know, and they support the local sevens team and so forth. And I think we have Cape Town sevens in December, so we'll welcome the Kenyans in Cape Town, you know. And absolutely, and they come with a lot of spirit.
And we have David Radisha living just up the escarpment, so you can support him in the next 800-meter race.
You see, exactly, you know, and thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I know it's been an effort, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks so much. And we're signing off here from Kichwatemba. We are almost at the end of our broadcast. I think we have another few tonight, and then we're going to show steered another leopard in the morning, and then that will be almost it. So it's been a wonderful week for us in the Mara, made possible by Make It Kenya, and our partners getting us here. We'll chat to you in about an hour or so with a chef from the kitchen, and we'll bring Titus on board that helped me with my shower cap, so that my hair does not get too wet. You know, I don't
Frizzy.
never really know whether it should be up or down. You know, but we'll sort that out with the staff here. Thanks so much for joining in, and we'll see you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Cool.